It was a terrifying scene. Prison inmates grab a hostage, take over an entire cell block, and go on a violent rampage. And even though it was all documented on camera, prison officials tried to keep it quiet. But the riot wasn't a secret very long. Shortly after it happened, investigative reporter Larry Barker obtained the chilling video. News 13 viewers became eyewitnesses to the largest New Mexico inmate uprising in recent years. Tonight, Larry is back with new developments in the case.
How would you characterize what happened that night?
It's hard to know where to start. There were so many security failures.
September 23rd, 3 years ago, the Northeast New Mexico prison in Clayton.
We don't want to ever see something like this happen again.
There were a combination of factors that went wrong that night.
Cell block 3, swing shift. All is quiet. Inmates are in their cells. A guard patrols the catwalk. At 9:05, the cell block explodes in chaos. A hostage is taken, cell doors are opened, and inmates are attacked as some of the most dangerous prisoners in New Mexico take control. What happened that night was negligent and reckless. The Clayton prison riot was New Mexico's largest inmate uprising in the last 20 years. The lockup in Clayton was a private prison operated by the Florida-based GEO Group. It's designed to hold 625 medium security inmates. Cell block 3 is reserved for disruptive inmates who pose security threats. On the evening in question, 23-year-old correctional officer Matt Schreiner patrols the upper tier. He pauses at a locked cell, reaches in the door slot, and is handed contraband. Schreiner surreptitiously passes the item to another inmate. He then stops at cell 203 to chat with one of the most dangerous inmates in the entire prison system. Clifton Bloomfield is a notorious serial killer, serving multiple life terms after murdering 5 people in Albuquerque. Schreiner exchanges a few words with the convicted killer and then, in a baffling move, unlocks Bloomfield's cell door. Moments later, Bloomfield jumps Schreiner and overpowers him with a homemade weapon. The inexperienced prison guard is taken hostage. Bloomfield grabs the guard's keys and proceeds to unlock cell doors. Schreiner is able to break away. He dashes down steps to the main level, retrieves his walkie-talkie, and runs for help. With keys to the entire 40-man cell block and no guards, the inmates take control. Cell doors are unlocked and the prisoners go on a brutal rampage. The main entry door is barricaded. Some prisoners use their newfound freedom to settle scores. One inmate, a suspected informant, is assaulted in his cell, his throat slashed. Other inmates disable the prison's surveillance cameras. They start a fire and trash the cell block. A riot response team floods the cell block with tear gas. Gradually, the security force is able to regain control of the facility. Inmates are rounded up, handcuffed, and escorted one by one to the prison's day room. The inmate who was attacked by rioters was found unconscious in a pool of blood. Rescuers drag him out and call an ambulance. Ringleader Clifton Bloomfield was handcuffed, ushered out of the cell block, and transferred to maximum security at the state pen in Santa Fe. Warden Mark Bowen refused public comment as the Corrections Department launched an investigation. So, what went wrong?
It was a disaster.
Santa Fe attorney Mark Donatelli is an expert evaluating prison operations. He led the 1980 Santa Fe prison riot defense team.
There were a combination of factors that went wrong that night. The lack of staff, lack of training, lack of appropriate classification, security procedures.
Consider Clifton Bloomfield. The high-profile serial killer is known throughout New Mexico's prison system as a dangerous inmate. 1 month before the riot, he attacked another prisoner, nearly strangling him to death. Instead of transferring Bloomfield to a more secure facility, he was ordered to undergo counseling for predator behavior. Just 11 days before the uprising, the warden issued a security alert. Quote, "We received a note this morning stating inmate Bloomfield wants to harm our staff. All of us know how dangerous this inmate is. Ensure that all precautions are used when dealing with this inmate." Days later, Bloomfield was let out of his cell, overpowered a guard, and orchestrated a prison riot. And then there's Matt Schreiner. On the evening of the uprising, Schreiner was the only officer on duty in cell block 3. When he recklessly unlocked Clifton Bloomfield's cell door, he carried the keys to every cell in the unit.
A inexperienced rookie officer with very little training was sent into the most dangerous, secure part of the facility without backup, without a radio. The officer was compromised by a prisoner who was able to take his keys away, open everybody's cell in that unit, and it led to the takeover of that unit.
Schreiner later told investigators he couldn't remember why he unlocked Bloomfield's cell. A month after the riot, Schreiner resigned. Perhaps the biggest problem facing the Clayton prison was understaffing. Correctional officer vacancies at the Geo Group facility were dangerously inadequate. On September 23, 2017, 20 guards were required to secure the facility. That night, however, only 9 were present. Over a 2.5-year period, the private prison was penalized more than $2.7 million for failure to adequately staff the facility.
There was this arrangement between the state where GEO could simply pay a fine instead of safely staffing the prison that they were commissioned to operate. And so they were paying fines rather than finding staff, training them and putting them in the positions that could have run that prison safely.
Last year, the Department of Corrections severed ties with the GEO Group and took over management of the prison facility in Clayton. Newly named Warden Tim Hatch talked about major changes in the prison operation.
We have put together a plan that if this ever happened again, we would be able to defeat it quickly. If we have an inmate that we would consider threatening to staff, we would make sure that door is marked so staff know do not open that door without at least 2 staff members, a supervisor, and a video camera. We no longer allow keys down into the housing unit. All doors are open through master control.
Clifton Bloomfield is charged with multiple crimes relating to the Clayton riot, including kidnapping, conspiracy to commit murder, assault, arson, and criminal damage to property. That case is pending. Matt Schreiner was slapped with a felony charge of assisting an escape. The complaint was later dismissed by the DA. Schreiner has moved out of state and did not respond to a request for comment. An inmate injured during the uprising, Samuel Sanchez, filed a negligence lawsuit against the GEO Group and the state. That case is pending. Larry Barker, KRQE, News 13.